I'm back at it, guys. I'm making science videos. Isn't this hilarious? We have to tackle all of these topics again, thanks to YouTube. Moving on. Okay, so what are you talking about? First of all, this video is only one of two. There's another video where he goes faster than the wind and same car, but you bet a physics professor because the professor doesn't think that it can be happening. Let's shed some light on this. First of all, this video is a year old, and honestly, it feels like it happened a lot longer ago. But it's long enough that I apparently am just astounded. He has never come up with a video talking about the ability to move faster than the speed of light using the same methods as to use in this vehicle. So why is that? Derek, why haven't you been able to prove that you can move faster than the speed of light, moving away from light, using the exact same methods as this car? So how does this car work? Well, first of all, the car, normally, once you consider the fact that the car is able to move along with the wind as if the propeller is like a sail. And then once you get fast enough, the car and its wheels are pulling the propeller so that you're flowing the wind from in front of your car to behind your car. A couple of iterations of this car could be used to make some kind of advancements, like the size of the wheels or whatnot, but doesn't matter too much. The point is that as your car is being pulled forward, the wheels turn, it turns the propeller turns, and pulls the air from in front of you to behind you. So you get up to speed by basically being like a sailboat. And then, after that point, it's because the car is forcing the propeller to pull wind through itself. It's very aerodynamic to start with. And then, on top of that, it's also very light, including Derek. It's not very heavy at all as a vehicle, so it's easy to move. The other thing to notice about this is that the car literally has the ability to use the friction of the ground to increase the power or the motion of the propeller so that it can then pull on the wind. So you have to understand that as the wind is moving forward from behind the car, as if you have a fan behind the car, it is also a fan. So the two forces collide, creating the possibility of going easily faster than the wind. Because of the way the car works, technically it could go faster than the wind moving slowly. But in order for it to work in the first place, you have to get up to speed. Then the propeller starts to pull it forward. Now it's interesting to note that even if the wind is moving in the same direction as the car, the air that you're slicing through and pulling from in front of yourself is still able to move. And that's interesting. and it totally makes sense to anyone with a brain. The one thing you can't do is go twice as fast as the wind, because that would require you to be able to convert the friction energy of stuff moving towards the vehicle, or in this case, moving just the wheels, and use that to make even more thrust for yourself. They did not achieve that, but they got close, and that's all that matters. Moving faster than the wind was never a question, but they bet apparently $10,000, basic little bet, to find out who was actually right. And Derek came out on top because, of course, the physics check out. That bet was made by an idiot. And I knew this literally the moment I first saw this video when it was fresh. So, my original reaction is on the dead channel that it does not currently exist anymore. So, what I have to mention is that if you were able to use the light that is coming from behind you, right? The way that it works with wind is you're able to pull what's in front of you behind you. So in order to do the same thing in space, you can do something similar, and then you would have I didn't realize that was Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Of course it's you. Lovely. Anyway, as you move through space, pushing stuff behind you is only going to help so much. Once you get to a certain speed, you're going to have to start pulling stuff from in front of you in behind you. The same mechanism that this car is using. Or like any plane uses. It pulls the stuff from in front of you behind you. Or a jet engine does the same thing. So, interestingly enough, at certain speeds, jet engines become the basic standard of what you should be using while trying to go through space. Even though the particles per million are going to be small, once you get to a certain speed, you're going to be hitting them anyway. So if you can turn that momentum of them hitting your ship into something that can suddenly start adding to the push of stuff through your ship and behind it, and there you go. My suggestion is a vortex engine. Similar to a fan, a vortex engine basically takes the stuff that is coming in and hitting the ship, and like a cone, it warps around everything that hits the ship, produces rotational energy. And the rotational energy also helps to funnel that material so that it is slowed down as it moves down the funnel, and then finally it's returned to a nozzle in the middle and exhaust out the back, so it can then rocket itself out the back. So you're probably wondering, well, why would you want to have stuff be hitting your ship constantly? And it's because there are ways to be able to catch all that stuff. So once you get to certain ranges of magnitude of energies, it really becomes easy for you to be able to go faster than wind. The thing is, that same idea applied to light speed, I realize is wrong, because the light will only be coming at you from behind your ship, unless there's also light from all the stars that are outside and around you. And here's the kicker. What if you could have something that can hold everything together and then move at relativistic speeds, like an electromagnetic field can do, and then start moving yourself through space? Literally everything that you bump into is adding its momentum. Even if it was at rest, you bumping into it forces it to impart a force that makes everything turn and makes everything generate more energy, so that you can then go through space. The only thing is, every time that you do this, you would likely want it so that the stuff that you leave behind is going to be pretty similar to what you ran into in the first place. Otherwise, the same person, someone else directly behind you, would likely hit the empty trail of space that you leave behind, and they wouldn't be able to get as much material to move their ship. So you would want to move all as one constant large conglomerate, a massive ship that would be able to not mind if a little bit of stuff hits it. But anyhow, I like the color of his controllers. They're kind of good. It's cool. Anyway, I have other science videos that I want to talk about and be able to help inform you about physics and tell you all these different things that are stuck in my head that I would like to make sure that you actually end up noticing and finding out about. Because it's cool. It's neat that you can do these things. Because eventually, spaceflight will not just be about pushing stuff, but you'll actually pull stuff through the ship or around the ship on the outside, and you'll be able to make more power the faster you go, because you'll be running into more stuff. You'll be constantly able to increase your speed. At some point, though, at the extreme levels of speed, it's basically not that much difference between what's hitting you at light speed and light speed 1.1 or 1.2. So like 10% the speed of light increased speed, or 20% faster than the speed of light. So that kind of thing is inevitable, that there will be a certain amount of drop off of return, because yeah, it's kind of why scientists in the past used to think that in order to reach light speed, you would have to have an infinite amount of speed. It would just never work. And that's because scientists didn't think about the upper limits and about substances that could possibly be accelerated faster than the speed of light and maintain themselves, that then we could pull ourselves through. Yeah, it's like light speed jello. But of course, then you also have to think about the forces of gravity against your body, that after a certain amount of speed, you end up with g-forces, and at a certain amount of forces, you turn into jello. So even if you could go faster than the speed of light, would you want to? Probably not. Even if you were frozen for the journey, um, you'd rather have a ship that can, like, build a clone that you can control or something. I don't know. Anyway, proving that you can go faster than the speed of light, it's your boy, Simon Tracer. Thanks for hanging out with me. I like it when you do. I'll see you in the next video. There's a lot more that I want to explain to you guys or show you guys. It's so cool. And I just wish that I was as good as Kyle Hill when he was starting with his drawing on the screen, which was about as entertaining as you'd ever want it to be. And it was still great videos. My videos are crap. Still.